What's up, YouTube? Live streaming it. Let's freaking go. Let's go. Can we like hurry up already and just go? Welcome to the live stream. We're here. This is what we've been waiting for. We'll throw up the free agent information here soon. If you're just joining us, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. And yeah, got some nuts here by me. But let's talk. And every wild thing is wild. Let's go. Okay, let's open up with the biggest news of the day. Let's throw it up. Sean Sharania has reported that Kevin Durant has requested a trade out of Brooklyn. What does that mean for the Nets? I feel like because this is happening literally the day of free agency, I think there's part of me that thinks that this is probably something where Durant is probably a little unhappy, obviously, with the whole Kyrie situation. There was another report that came out that said Kyrie was pretty okay with him requesting this trade, which was weird. But I don't expect Kyrie to say anything different. So, what does this mean? The Suns have been marked as a team that Durant wants to go to. I think that's highly unlikely. We'll see. This is pretty crazy. Remember, Durant just recently signed with the Nets. Let's pull this up. Durant recently re-signed with the Nets. I believe that was last season. So his contract's pretty hefty. And I would anticipate that the Nets would have to get some stuff figured out here. Goodness. So let's look at their cap sheet. Durant signed for the next 3 seasons. I seriously don't know what to think of that. Like, what is KD gonna do? What is he gonna do? So pretty crazy for me to imagine that something happens with Durant. I ultimately think that Durant will stay in Brooklyn. Things will get figured out, but it might be really awkward here. The team has to figure something out here. The team has to decide, do they want to, build this team into a contender or have to rebuild this stuff? Like, it's crazy. All right, let's pull this up. We got another story that's just coming in. But let's talk about Jalen Brunson. This broke before free agency began. Jalen Brunson intends to sign a 4-year, $110 million deal with the New York Knicks. The Mavericks never received a chance to make an offer. He was just gone. This is something that I want to talk about. Because there are some places in the NBA that I think are just so interesting, where they just are not able to hold on to guys. Dallas has not landed a free agent, nor have they been able to keep guys. And so what's really wild here to me is that Brunson doesn't even give them an offer to a chance to make an offer. What does that mean for the Mavericks? Well, they're likely going to go sign Goran Dragic now. They're likely going to. They really don't have any ability to do much else because Jalen Brunson, his money coming off the books isn't really a whole lot, and they're already over the cap. So this is not a team that can be able to go acquire and in free agency another player that can make a difference, a huge difference that is, unless a trade is on the table, which I just don't think that there is, that makes them significantly better. So what does this mean for the Knicks? The Knicks, Jalen Brunson, a little bit of a payday there, right? $110 million over the 4 years. Let's pull out the handy dandy calculator. That's $27.5 million a year. That's insane. So the Knicks now get this guard of the future, I guess. Brunson's a smaller guard, scores in the mid-range a lot. Not sure how much I like him in... I'm not sure how much I like him in the concept of like being the guy in New York. I don't think he is. But I do like the pickup for the Knicks. Maybe a little high, but most point guards in the NBA are making this type of money. Lonzo, Mike Conley may be a little bit under, but Brogdon, Drew Holiday, like there's other dudes that are making around the same money. So ultimately, I think that he's going to be fine and that the deal isn't too crazy. But New York needs to make some moves now. They've come out and they've said that they don't anticipate this being the only move that they make. There's got to be more things that they have in mind. What does this do for the Knicks? I think it makes them a little bit better. Nothing crazy, though. Brunson has some limitations, but I ultimately think he's pretty good. Not the greatest defender, which is kind of interesting because, he goes to Tibbs in Dallas, so little interesting there. Let's talk about a quick little trade that was made. The Utah Jazz are sending Royce O'Neal to the Brooklyn Nets for a future first-round pick. That is the 2023 Philadelphia 76ers pick. Absolutely wild. I didn't think Royce is worth a first-round pick, and it's an unprotected Sixers pick. So, knock on wood that this doesn't happen. But Embiid gets injured. Harden still continues to struggle. This team underachieves. It's a really solid pick, right? Like, especially unprotected. It has no protections on it. That's the wild thing, in my personal opinion. Now, does this branch out to be a larger trade? It could be. It really could be. But as of right now, the Nets are using their James Harden trade exception to get Royce O'Neal, and they give up that 2023 pick. Again, did not think Royce O'Neal was worth a big contract like that. Or, sorry, not a big contract. I'm not sure he was worth a first-round pick. And so for Brooklyn to be able to give that up for Utah, it's a big win for Utah. Very questionable for Brooklyn. I think that Bruce Brown is better, and they probably just don't want to pay him. So they had to go a different route and acquire a similar player. This might mean that Bruce Brown is gone, and Utah trades away a first-round pick, or they receive a first-round pick, but they trade away a starter for their team. So I ultimately think that this team still has much more moves to make, and we'll see what that looks like. But it's an exciting move. Nothing crazy, like it's not Kevin Durant going to the Suns, but it is very fun to see this team kind of move around and little moves, because these little moves make way for the big ones. Real GM Zach LaVine to meet with the Bulls. A decision unlikely on the opening night of free agency of him re-signing with the Bulls. Probably. I don't see anything crazy there. Woj. Let's talk about Woj real quick. Breaking news. Jaren Jackson Jr. underwent surgery to repair a stress fracture in his right foot on Wednesday and is expected to be sidelined 4 to 6 months. That means he will not be back in time for the regular season, as the season usually ends mid to late October, but 4 to 6 months. That's bad. Big blow to Memphis. And ultimately, I think one of the biggest things that comes with Jaren is that if he isn't healthy, like obviously he's not providing anything. And that's going to really limit his NBA future because he just has not been able to stay healthy. Good talent. I think a lot of people in the league love what he brings. Athleticism, length, the ability to space the floor, the ability to defend on the perimeter. He is very much what NBA teams want their big man to be. And unfortunately, he is not staying healthy. That's unfortunate. No blame to go around, but it just sucks. So unfortunate for Memphis. They're going to be without Ja's running mate, Jaren Jackson, for the first part of the season. Anything else happening here? Let's see. Torian Prince, 2-year extension with the Wolves. Pretty cool, I guess. But that's it. We have free agency opening in literally under a minute. We are 30 seconds away. What is Grant Williams doing on this free agency report? I can't. Anyway, let's really quickly talk as free agency begins in the next 15 seconds. Let's talk about the Lakers being interested in trading for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in a package deal. Hello? In order to acquire Durant and Irving, the Lakers would have to build a package around Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, and future draft picks. While Westbrook is an expiring contract, he's widely viewed as a negative asset. I have zero faith that this actually gets done. Pipe dream. Oh, first Woj bomby. Or this is a Shams bomb, or whatever you want to call it. Let's throw it up. We talked about this in our Denver Nuggets video. Feel free to go watch that. But the Denver Nuggets have just extended Nikola Jokic, the MVP Nikola Jokic. Here it is. Oh shoot, we even got... Well, we knew about that. Let's talk about these two. These three. Man, look at Shams. 3 tweets in like 5 seconds. Let's go. Nikola Jokic has agreed to sign a 5-year, $264 million Supermax contract, the richest deal in NBA history. We anticipated this happening. Obviously, you re-sign Jokic. That's an annual amount of $52.8 million a year. Pretty fun. Pretty wild. But let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Pretty crazy. All right, more stuff from Shams. We're going crazy here. Devin Booker is finalizing a 4-year, $214 million extension for 4 years, obviously. $53.5 million annually. Insane. Predictable moves. Wow, we have so many moves here. Malik Monk to the Sacramento Kings. DeAndre Jordan to the Denver Nuggets. I think that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. How about this one? Isaiah Hartenstein to the New York Knicks, a 2-year, $16 million plus deal. How about that? Big play there. Big play by the Knicks. I think that's a great grab for them. I like Hartenstein a lot. So you get Brunson, you get 2 lefties. You get Brunson, and you get our guy, Jalen Brunson. Knicks winning free agency so far? I guess so. Shams also reports that Victor Oladipo is headed back to Miami. He's going back to the Heat on a 1-year, $11 million deal. That is their mid-level exception. Kind of interesting because of this next story that Shams is breaking. If they want to, if Twitter wants to pull this up, can we get this pulled up, please? Oh, there it is. PJ Tucker to the Philadelphia 76ers. Malik Monk, 2-year, $19 million deal. Pretty solid. Played pretty good for the Kings, or for the Lakers last year. He now signs with the Kings. A little bit of a loss for the Lakers. We'll see how big fish hunting they go during this, but kind of crazy that they're going to miss out on bringing back Monk. They didn't have a whole lot of flexibility to do so, but it's still unfortunate for the Lakers. How about this one? PJ Tucker, 3-year, $33 million, fully guaranteed deal with the 76ers. We know that the Sixers love, they have Daryl Morey as their GM, and so he loves PJ Tucker. So pretty big move there. Let's refresh Woj's page because we got something on Woj's end here. Ready for this? I'll give you a hint. It's about Bradley Beal. Did Bradley Beal just get traded? No. He's signing a 5-year, $251 million max contract to stay with the Wizards. I think a lot of people kind of had it as like a pipe dream that he would go to a different team, be traded from Washington. No, he doesn't. He stays with the Washington Wizards. Above that, if you can read, the Portland Trail Blazers have signed Anthony Simons on a 4-year, $20 million, or excuse me, 4-year, $100 million contract. The players are getting paid. Anthony Simons getting 24 annually, pretty big after one really good season this last year. I like him, but a lot of money for sure. Re-signings, a lot of things that we've expected. The only surprise that has come so far has been Isaiah Hartenstein going to the New York Knicks. And we'll talk about that a little bit more at length. I see we got 4 viewers. We got 4 whole viewers in the chat right now. Feel free to put something in the chat and we'll break it down. We are waiting to hear what else is happening in the NBA. Beal staying with the Wizards, Anthony Simons staying with the Blazers, being extended by the Blazers. After I requested for people to hang out, they all left. It's kind of sad. Anyway, Bobby Portis, there it is. Bobby Portis has agreed to return to the Milwaukee Bucks on a 4-year, $49 million contract. So roughly, what is that? $12 million a year? A little over. Pretty fun. Pretty big time. Pretty good move for Milwaukee. I think it was good for them to be able to keep everybody up and go from there. So pretty good stuff there from the Milwaukee Bucks. Enjoy seeing that for this team. Anything from Shams, Portis deal, the Monk deal, PJ Tucker. Okay, we're monitoring. Good moves all around. A lot of teams are keeping their guys. I'm excited to see what else is going to happen. We'll be here for the next about 30 minutes and stream, and then after that, we will end the stream. And yeah. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. We got some good stuff though up front. Pretty fun. I guess let's talk about the PJ Tucker situation with the Philadelphia 76ers. So Miami loses him, unfortunately. They're now probably going to go target. We've heard Jay Crowder. We've heard TJ Warren. They're going to go try to do something. They actually, I do think it's interesting that they went and signed Oladipo. So they let go of Tucker. Oladipo is here with the Heat. Let's pull this up here. Oh, there it is. Free agent Daniel House, formerly of the Utah Jazz and the Houston Rockets. Huh. Go figure. Daryl Morey signs another former Houston Rocket. How about that? It's just Rockets East Coast, man. What the heck? House is going to the 76ers. Solid move. Solid move. They need some perimeter defense a little bit, and so I think he provides that. I like it. Feel free to post in the chat what we got going on here, as Sham's Twitter site is just completely losing it right now. I got to imagine that there's so many people looking at this website right now and looking at his Twitter account, because that is insane. In fact, I'm not even getting notifications from Twitter anymore, which is a load of something. Salary cap for this next year, $123 million. I think it was projected at 122, but it is going to stay or go up a little bit at 123. So there's that. What we got, Woj? Can we talk about the Knicks? Give the Knicks a little bit of a shout out after really not doing much in the draft. They signed Hartenstein and they signed Jalen Brunson. I think those are good things. I think those are honestly 2 good pickups for them. Are they winners? Like, are they like huge, big time grabs? Not necessarily, but I do think it's pretty good. I still don't understand why Grant Williams is on this live show of Shams. Doesn't make much sense to me. Kind of fun though. All right. Let's talk about some things. Let's see. What do we want to get into? So much news. Let's talk about. We talked about Tucker. We kind of knew Tucker was happening. Some smaller deals. Sacramento Kings are bringing in Malik Monk, I think, which is pretty solid. I still think they need a little bit of size, but like other than like they're doing something that's really weird. Like they're getting like these young guards with, you know, Fox and Davion Mitchell, but then they have these forwards that don't really play on the perimeter too much in Sabonis. And then they obviously got Keegan Murray, who I think is solid but not worth the 4th pick. Anyway, yeah, let's keep going on this. Like a solid move, I think, there for the Kings to be able to get Malik Monk. What do you guys feel in the chat? Post something. Got to get some dialogue going here, especially when there's no moves being made right now. Just kidding. There's lots of moves being made right now. Let's recap it. We'll have to recap it here soon. Shams is breaking everything. I think Shams is the next Woj. That's what I see him project as. He's just the next Woj. Okay, let's really quickly bring it down for those who are joining us that may not be aware of what's going on. The New York Knicks have signed Jalen Brunson to a 4-year, $110 million offer. Dallas apparently didn't get an opportunity to try to bring Brunson back. Like, he just signed with the Knicks. Pretty cool. Jokic re-signing with the Nuggets. Devin Booker re-signing with the Suns, 4-year on extension. Malik Monk going to the Sacramento Kings. DeAndre Jordan to the Denver Nuggets. Isaiah Hartenstein to the New York Knicks. Victor Oladipo returning to the Miami Heat on an $11 million deal, which is wild after he just signed the minimum last year, I believe. PJ Tucker, 3-year, $33 million, fully guaranteed deal. You better believe Daryl Morey loves bringing these guys back. Bobby Portis, a 4-year, $4.5 million deal to return to Milwaukee. And then the Sixers were also able to bring in Daniel House. We'll stream here for the next 25 minutes. Feel free to ask a question in the chat if there's anything we can clarify. And we're chilling. We're chilling right now. No news coming in. Let's pull this up here. Oh, okay. I don't know why I'm not getting anything, but the Magic have agreed to re-sign Mo Bamba. How about that? Let's pull it up here from Real GM. Daniel House. That Daniel House deal is also $8.5 million. Pretty good for him. Okay, cool. All right, cool, sweet. These are pretty fun. All right, Mo Bamba returning to the Magic. Remember, he was a restricted free agent. They actually did not extend the qualifying offer for him, so that meant that he was going to be unrestricted. And the Magic bring back Mo Bamba on a 2-year, $10.5 million annual deal. So $21 million over the next 2 years. Pretty good, pretty solid. Tyus Jones is returning to the Memphis Grizzlies. Apparently, Woj is reporting this. You just gotta keep refreshing. This is insane. Tyus Jones returning back to the Memphis Grizzlies. 2-year, $30 million deal. So 15 annually. There it is. Right here. Kind of interesting, mostly just because I think that Tyus was kind of projected to go somewhere else, but other teams kind of picked up a point guard, so, you know, it is what it is. I guess I should have... Oh my... Chris Haynes is reporting that Joe Ingles is going to the Milwaukee Bucks. We got to get Chris Haynes on Twitter, dude. It's got to be the league minimum for Joe Ingles. Oh my goodness, this isn't Chris Haynes. This is Chris Hayes. What are we doing? Nobody cares about that guy today. Joe Ingles is going to Milwaukee. How about that? You got to believe that's a league minimum deal. And then also, it sounds like Wesley Matthews is also returning to the Milwaukee Bucks, so that's always fun. But Chris Haynes is reporting Joe Ingles and Wesley Matthews are going to return to the Bucks. How about this one? This is exciting. I'm pumped about this. Los Angeles Clippers, baby. Who are they signing? They're re-signing Nicolas Batum to a 2-year, $22 million deal. If you watched the video that I had for the Clippers in their season preview, I did talk a little bit about that Batum could be a guy that they really, really should prioritize. They do, and they have so many of these guys that are in the $10 to $15 million range, and they've just mastered. They've mastered the whole cap situation beautifully. Char Prod says, "I'm so excited for this, bro." I'ma say, let's go. Yeah, let's see what else do we got here. Amir Kofi returning to the Los Angeles Clippers. He is going to sign a 3-year $11 million deal. Damian Jones. This is a solid pickup by the Lakers. They are bringing in Damian Jones to a 2-year deal. I like that, actually, for the Lakers. I think that's not bad. And that's kind of one of those moves where you're like, okay, like, maybe not the most sexiest move, but I think Lakers fans will like Damian Jones. I think he's pretty solid. Char says, "I'm a Sixers fan, and PJ Tucker, we needed him. Let's go." Yeah, I actually think PJ Tucker is a pretty good fit there. Adds a little bit of defensive versatility, defensive emphasis for that team that I do feel like struggles. I don't think Harden's the greatest defender. Maxi's not the greatest defender. Tobias Harris isn't the greatest defender. It's just another player who I think provides intensity, some leadership, some locker room presence, and I think it is a great pickup for Philly. Let's see what else we got here. Javon Carter going back to the Milwaukee Bucks. That was by Shams on a 2-year deal. There it is right there. So many moves. So many moves. Javon Carter. 2-year to return to Milwaukee. So Milwaukee's bringing back guys, and they're actually bringing guys that haven't played there before. So Joe Ingles is one of them. Really interested to see what that deal is for Joe Ingles. Really interested. I wonder how much of his medical record they have, because older player coming off an ACL injury. I'm glad he's signed, but just wondering exactly who, how much he can go for. Wow, look at that. Okay. Let's see here. Woj Here's another Woj little bomb. Chris Boucher, the Raptors restricted free agent. Just kidding, he's not restricted. He's unrestricted. He's the opposite of restricted. He's unrestricted. All right. Raptors re-signing Boucher to a 3-year, $35 million offer. Really interesting. The Raptors actually kind of lost faith in him during the year. They weren't even playing him many minutes. And now they're signing him to a 3-year, $35 million deal. That's kind of... I understand the upside with Boucher, but the Raptors kind of just told us otherwise by their actions, that they weren't really invested in him for the future. And all of a sudden, they want to bring him back for 3 years? Interesting deal. Interesting deal. Don't hate it. Don't love it. Kind of questionable, mostly just because of what the Raptors were saying. They're basically saying, hey, we're going to play this guy like less than 10 minutes some nights. But then they're like, okay, we'll give you $35 million over the next 3 years. Interesting. Let's see. All right, Lou Dort. You're talking about Lou Dorty? He's going somewhere. Ooh. Okay. All right. All right. Lou Dort is re-signing with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's pull this up. I'm grateful for the 4 people that are here. Let's go. Free agent Lou Dort has signed a 5-year, $87.5 million deal to stay with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Interesting. So he doesn't leave. They keep him. They re-sign him. 87.5 over the next 5 years. That's 17.5 million. Interesting. So Lou Dort returns to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's go. I'm pumped up. So a lot of teams are keeping their players. Boucher. Oklahoma City keeping Lou Dort. I do like the Damian Jones pickup there for the Lakers. Really exciting. Man, Woj is so behind Shams right now. Crazy stuff, man. This is wild. This is a fun time. Thank you for the 2 likes, everybody in the chat. We'll be here for another 15 to 20 minutes, breaking down a little bit of stuff here. Sharpod says, where do I think that Kevin Durant will go? I personally think that he is going to stay in Brooklyn. But I do think that there is some interesting things to consider here with Durant. First of all, I think he's making a lot of money, so that's just up front. But let's throw up what DraftKings says, shall we? There's an interesting team there. The Phoenix Suns are number 1. The Miami Heat are next. How about that? After that, long shots, Clippers, Blazers, Grizzlies, Brooklyn Nets. Like, it is more favorable now that he goes to Phoenix or Miami than he does stay with Brooklyn. So there you go, Shar. I will say Phoenix, Miami, or Brooklyn. That's what the odds say. And I have to agree, because you have to match dollar for dollar what the trade is. The Suns can do that. Like, I'm almost wondering, like, is it just Chris Paul? Like, what exactly does Durant go to Brooklyn and say? Does he say, I'm demanding a trade there? Like, I'm not going anywhere else. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the idea is there for Durant. I think that it's just mostly, I can understand some of the frustration with the team, but ultimately I just don't think that the best thing for him is to go and just go to Phoenix, go to Miami. I just, it's crazy. So those are the top 3 teams. I can't really think of any other teams as well. In fact, let's look it up a little bit more, see if any other betting sites say anything differently about Durant. Because I think he still has the ability to be really good. Obviously, I think he can lead a team to a championship still. Here's more odds, which are kind of baffling. The Miami Heat, the Grizzlies. This was a tweet by Woj underneath here. As the Nets prepare to move on from one of the most valuable trade assets ever on the market, the entire roster will be available to discuss in the deal. Teams have been calling for Durant, and the Nets are certainly looking for a historic return on players and draft picks. It makes sense. I feel so bad for Brooklyn right now, though. I don't see how you could just be better as a franchise to set yourself up to land both Kyrie Irving and Durant, and the unthinkable happens. What's the unthinkable? Oh, James Harden, his trade. That's the unthinkable. So you acquire James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and how bad does this look on Sean Marks, Steve Nash? I think it goes all ways around. Like, I also understand the argument that Durant is and Kyrie are maybe difficult or a little bit different than some NBA stars. Because I look at this team and I'm like, this is crazy. This team is imploding. It's wild. Heat, Grizzlies, Suns, Hawks, Knicks, Clippers, Blazers. These are pretty low chances of happening. So we're looking at Miami. We're looking at Phoenix. I don't think the Memphis one makes too much sense. So that one's, I'm kind of like, I don't see that one. Pull up this article right here about Kevin Durant, and then we'll get back to free agency because there have been some small signings. Dwayne Dedmon is returning to the Miami Heat. Grizzlies, Suns, Hawks, Knicks. Pretty wild. Dwayne Dedmon returning to the Miami Heat. Lou Dort staying with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Feel free to click the like button if you guys haven't already. We'll be here for about 10 minutes, roughly. Yeah, roughly 10 minutes. Then we'll have to shut down the stream. But here we are. Free agency. We're getting news every single minute here, although we are kind of hitting a dead period now. After the first 30 minutes, there's been like 20 moves. It hasn't even been 30 minutes yet. You kidding me? Trevelyan Queen and the 76ers have agreed to a deal. Can't tell you much about that. Maybe we can look them up. Man, another player staying with their team. Chris Haynes is reporting that the Toronto Raptors are keeping Thaddeus Young. 2-year, $16 million deal. Shar says, imagine if he goes to the Thunder. He probably won't, but that would be cool to see him go to the Thunder and reunite. Yeah, that would be wild. I think that would be pretty sick. But, I mean, honestly, that would be one of the greatest things that ever happened to the NBA. Could you imagine Kyrie or Durant going back to Oklahoma City? He pairs up with Chet. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't think Oklahoma City does that. You think Oklahoma City goes and trades all their young players? I also don't think they have the cap space to do it too. So they would have to trade like Favors and all their high-paid players. Like, nah, they're passing on that. So don't see it happening, but that would be wild. Yeah, roughly 30 deals in this first half hour of free agency. Unbelievable. Lives are being changed. Honestly, like, as much as we want to talk about the basketball element of this, it is crazy to, have these players. These are year-long plus commitments. So I think that'd be wild. Char says Slim Reaper duo. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty skinny over there in Oklahoma City. Giddey, Shea, KD, Holmgren. What I would tell the Thunder, I would say, just tank. See if you can get a top pick next year. Maybe it's Wembanyama. Yeah, we're kind of hitting the wall here. Usually these happen pretty quickly, but we are hitting a wall now. But let's do a quick recap. And to help us with that recap, we'll have Twitter help us out here. Real GM. Real ones. Okay, recap. Here we go. Zach LaVine is set to meet with the Bulls. No decision coming today. He'll probably go. He'll probably stay with Chicago. Jaren Jackson Jr., an unfortunate injury. Repairing a broken foot. He'll be out for 46 months. Isaiah Hartenstein, $16.7 million deal. Bradley Beal re-signs with the Wizards, to the chagrin of many people. Devin Booker, 4-year extension. Anthony Simons re-signs with the Portland Trailblazers. How about Bobby Portis going to the Bucks and staying with Milwaukee? Malik Monk going to Sacramento after a good year from him in LA. Daniel House, 2-year, $8.5 million deal to go to the Philadelphia 76ers. Mo Bamba, 2-year, $21 million deal. PJ Tucker, 3-year deal as well. Nick Batum returning to the Clippers. Tyus Jones returning to the Grizzlies. Amir Kofi returning to the Clippers on a 3-year deal, $11 million. Damian Jones, this is a solid pickup. Sneakiest pickup. I would say the best pickup that we didn't really know, because everybody knew Brunson was going to New York. Like, that doesn't shock anybody. But the sneakiest pickups, I think, today have been Isaiah Hartenstein going to the Knicks, and then Damian Jones going to the Lakers. Really like that. I don't think he's a guy who's going to get like 50, he's not going to be a guy who's going to go play like 35 plus minutes a night for the Lakers, but I do think he's a solid center in this league. I think, and Kings fans might have to correct me on this, I think he has a little bit of an outside shot so he can spread the floor a little bit, which is always nice. Chris Boucher returning to the Raptors. Lou Dort agreeing to a 5-year deal with the Thunder. DeAndre Jordan going to the Nuggets. Can't even say that with a straight face. And Devon Reed going to the Nuggets as well, or staying with Denver. Dwayne Dedmon returning to the Heat, 2-year, $9 million deal. Trevelyan Queen. 76ers agreed to a deal. And then Thaddeus Young returning to the Raptors. So lots of returns right now. Lots of returns. I'm looking to see what the reaction is from Nets fans that yeah, Nets fans don't seem too crazy on the idea of Royce coming there. Pretty wild. Let's see, anything else? We're not getting much. We might have to end the stream. As I get spam calls. Hit the slow period. Probably gonna call it. Let's call it. Okay. Any other future big time signings we'll do, and we'll talk about again. But we'll do another kind of post off season review for all NBA teams, and we'll break down a little bit of what they could do next year in the off season. But yeah, it should be exciting. Every little thing that the Suns or that the NBA is going on right now, it's exciting. So we'll make videos, we'll do things. If there is a trade with John Collins, who I think is probably very likely to move, we'll make a little video on it. Yeah, exciting stuff going on here. Trades, free agency moves. Let's freaking go. Is Durant moving? Wow, that would be wild. Anyway, that's it for the video today, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the video. It's good to see some few people in here. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And here's to a great free agency period. Let's freaking go.